would Broady rather go camping with Nasser Hussain or Michael Atherton?
I don't know how many people know this, actually. He's got no sense of smell. When he tries, he's not offended, but everyone else is. Remember, like Johnny Bairstow at Lord's would be sat next to the coffee machine. So if he's got naught, don't go make yourself a coffee yet.
I always love when the camera pans to him, like whatever the stage of the match, is it a test match or one day or whatever, his sunglasses on, lying back, feet up. Does Broady love watching Australia lose at all sports?
This episode is brought to you by Laithwaites. Get yourself a glass. I have to get mine off the shelf. You didn't help me out there, Jose. But settle in and join us for the love of cricket and a good bottle of wine with Laithwaites. We've got a black stump for us today, Jose.
Very
South
nice.
Australia. Shall I pour myself first, or is it
Yeah,
rude?
go for yourself and pass it over.
Do a little bit of that. This is another Q&A episode, Jose. Let me pass that. Won't put the lid on.
Thank you very much.
Which means our listeners have done all the work. I'm Stuart Broad, and you're Jos Butler, obviously. Jose Boutelier.
Thank you. We've had loads of good questions. Our Instagram has a Google form where you can get the questions in there. So please get in touch, fire us your questions, and we will answer them on our Laithwaites Q&A episodes.
We've got a bottle of southeastern Australian Shiraz here, Jose. Pretty famous grape from that neck of the woods. What do you think?
Dark in colour, isn't it? It's a bit spicy, I'd say, quite punchy. Need something good for a Sunday roast, maybe. What do you reckon?
Barbecue for me. Coals, red wine, chatting away to mates, and family.
Very
That's what
nice.
it's all about.
Sounds good.
More on the wine in a little bit. First question's from Dan. Great question, actually. If England could pick only fast bowlers from the past 25 years, who would make the 11? Who would open the batting? Who would keep wicket? Let's start with, should we go in batting order? Who would open the batting? Fast bowlers, last 25 years.
Fast bowl. Okay, so I'm going to discount sort of proper, genuine all-rounders maybe. Chris Woakes would obviously be, I'd say, one of the better or is that unfair? Should we include guys like him? Tim Bresnan, I'm thinking, pretty steady batter. Those.
Do you think anyone averaging over 25 you got a discount? That's a genuine all-round. That's like Stokes, Flintoff.
Yeah. Okay, if you're opening the bowling for England, like Woakes, you're in for... So I think Woakes would definitely be one of the better batters I can think of. I'd have had you up there before you got hit in the head, and that sort of curtailed that batting career a little bit.
Nighthawk option. I've had my pads on batting 3 for England in recent times, 2022.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to take
So you're
the number.
still an option.
I'm happy to take the number 9 spot.
Yeah, you can take number 9 spots. Of all the bowlers, you're still at number 9. I'm trying to think a little bit far back. I always thought Goffey was quite a decent batter. Gave it a good whack. It was like a A6 cricket bat as well at
Got
one
50
point.
on debut, test debut, didn't it?
So I think Goffey could be in there. Where's Jimmy batting in just the bowlers? Is he still... Was he always number 11, or has he been up the order a bit?
He could hold a bat. I just think Jimmy's our longest standing number 11 of all time, isn't he? I feel like he deserves to be number 11. Yeah. You know, he's better than that, but he deserves to be number 11. I think the worst batter I didn't play with, but I watched at Leicestershire for a bit, Alan Mullally. Do you remember Alan Mullally? Left arm swing bowler or nip bowler. He played his last test in 2001, so that sort of counts. He looked really bad.
So he's 11
really bad.
of the 11s.
No, I'm going to put him 10 because Jimmy owns 11.
Keep Jimmy there. One of my favourite bowling batters would be Finney, actually, Stephen Finn, the Watford Wall.
Did he call himself the Watford Wall?
Don't know if that's self-proclaimed or if that came after a sort of quite long vigil in New Zealand somewhere.
Yeah, he
wasn't
batted virtually a day, I reckon.
Yeah, so always fancied himself. He would be a very big candidate for kicking them well, as well, with the size of
big pads.
the big pads. And he used to just plant that front leg down, and it was quite a target. But I think we could put him in at number 3, just out of...
Or we go for the most boring opening partnership of all time. Stephen Finn in his Watford Wall persona and Matthew Hoggard. Matthew Hoggard just had no shots, did he? Just looked to block it.
Yeah, it's not the most exciting batting lineup.
Just see off the new ball with them.
See off the new ball with them. Who else have we got? Mark Wood is quite an exciting batter.
Wood.
So we could get Woody in at number 3.
To up the tempo.
It really does really up the tempo. I think as fast bowlers go, his hitting the first ball he faces for 6 must be quite up there.
He's also the most nervous waiter to bat of all time. Literally can't sit down. So get him out of the change room as early as you can.
Yeah, and one of those questions like catching and wicket keeping, he definitely wouldn't be my wicket. Think how annoying he'd be at if you're stood at first slip all day with Woody keeping with, or how anxious the ball's wobbling now, it's doing this, it's doing that.
Yeah.
I think you need to keep him
at fine leg.
At fine leg. Mid on, maybe, just to give him someone to talk to. But
do you know who could properly play, actually? Steve Harmison.
As a batter?
He could properly play as a batter.
That's a big shout.
He could. I know he probably averaged 12, but he hit lovely shots. How KG Rabada goes about it, just hits a beautiful cover drive and then just misses a straight one. So Harmy had a bit of talent there, I think his batting went off when he decided he had the same sponsor as Michael Vaughan. So he thought, what's the point of me taking pads? I'll just use Vaughan's. So I think his practice deteriorated when he stopped taking pads on tour, and that hurt his batting a little bit. But I definitely have him at a 6. Come in and take on the older ball.
Yeah, like it. Catching bowlers, good catchers. Anyone that you can think of there?
Jimmy Anderson,
Jimmy's probably the best.
Jimmy's the best hands I've played because he could field in the slips, gully, and
I just thought Jamie Overton would be a very good. I think he would call himself an all-rounder, which is fair, but he's played that one test, hasn't he, so far for England, and scored 97 or something like that.
Yeah, he did,
hits a very, very long ball as well, so he'd be up there for me, and is a very, very good slip fielder. So he's sort of ticking a lot of boxes there, isn't he?
Now we're building a team that we want to actually go around and beat people, aren't we?
It's like an auction. We're like, who are we paying the most money for of these bowlers?
Jamie O's your big hitter, is it?
Jamie O, I think, would be... who else have I got written down? Anyone there? Ollie Robb, he was a good slip fielder, catch a good hold the bat as well. So
I weirdly just want to fill my team with the worst... like just get bowled out in 10 overs. See, those league cricket scorecards you see sometimes that... like 8 all out.
Yeah.
What team could we get? It could be 8
all out.
Who are the
worst that would be a better question. Who are the worst batters you've ever seen? But maybe...
Well, we need to pick a keeper. We haven't picked a keeper.
For some things, I want to see Finney with the gloves on for some reason as well, just for pure comedy value. Who else could be a good keeper? Simon Jones, athletic, diving around. He was a bit of a...
Yeah.
What's his batting like? Steady,
I think. I remember him hitting 05. I remember hitting like Warney straight a little bit, like bit sort of planty and just hit through the line strong, but I'm not sure he had much. What's the right way of saying it?
Touch. He looked more of a... Maybe that's not a great shout for keeping wicket then either.
I'll let you pick as the keeper, and then we'll have our next question.
I think you sort of want to pick Jimmy there as well. I think
Jimmy there as well?
I think Jimmy might have to keep wicket, and then he's going to catch the most balls, the wicket keeper. So
actually, when he went to bowling coach, when he retired from England, that's how he would admit he'd have keeping gloves on and just stand behind. And
natural.
Yeah, he was always wanting to do it when he was playing, but the physio never allowed him. He was like, if you break a finger, I'm the one in trouble here, so you're not allowed to do that.
He'd get sacked, wouldn't he? Jimmy breaks.
Jimmy's out for the season. How's he done that? Oh, he's keeping to the bowlers.
Yeah.
Great.
Question from Kay. What was it like to play against England's now head coach, Baz McCullum?
For Baz and against Baz. Baz was quite petrifying to bowl at. Actually had a couple of tough experiences against him. A bit like Rishabh Pant's at the minute, in the sense that whatever ball you bowl, you're not quite sure what's coming at you. Highly talented player, ultra aggressive, but didn't just slog. He hit in his strengths. And for me, 6'6" into the pitch, he's quite short and he'd sort of hang back leg side and almost looked to cut me as often as he could. I got him out a couple of... Actually, my second ever test match at Wellington, he was one of my first wickets when Vaughan had called me and Jimmy into the side and said, bring some energy. I remember getting him out there and I was really excited by that. But there was a couple of times when he really got me. There was a brilliant moment at Headingley, which just summed up cricket for me. I ran in first morning of the game, nipped one back to Ross Taylor. He left it, LBW, middle, like complete celeb appeal. Thanks for coming. Baz comes out. Exactly the same ball. So I'll just repeat that, because if I can nip it back to him, happy days. Repeated it. He charged me at me for 6 over extra cover. Put my hands on my hips. A bit like
first ball of the innings.
First ball of his innings. I was like, what on earth has just happened there? What's going on? And the toughest time was Wellington in a 50 over game. It might have been a World Cup game.
Yeah, you didn't have to mention this one, did you?
And it was 2015. Tim Southey got 7 for 20. We got rolled. It swung, actually. We sort of nicked them. I can't remember exactly how many we got. It wasn't many, maybe 80 or 90. And then we had to go out and bowl 10 overs before the tea breaks. We were bowled out so quick. and Baz just went into 20th gear, just went berserk. And my first 2 overs, he was just backing away and cutting me into the stands. And then Finney replaced me, and he started going the same sort of treatment. So I think if you ask Baz, I think he quite liked tall bowlers that try and hit the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the most sort of demoralising losses, wasn't it? That one in Wellington where he smacked us everywhere. Then we had to go off for a 40-minute break, and I think they only needed 10 to win or something at that stage, if that. Yeah. And he was on 70 odd off 20-something balls, and it came out 4-6, game done. Like just, but I always, Baz was someone was one of those wicketkeeper batters. You always, as my job in the team, and you looked up to him, and he was quite a cool player. I always thought he was one of those wicket keepers that could pull off the short sleeves and the double sweatband, which is pretty unique to. There's not many who can pull that off. And
Adam Perore,
I think it was probably Baz maybe took over from keeping wickets, so that might have been his influence. But I always felt Baz had quite a cool aura on the pitch. For, let's say, it's not necessarily a big guy but had a bit of a presence. As a keeper, he did when he was captain of New Zealand. I think 2015, that World Cup, they were really impressive, weren't they, New Zealand? And he led that from the front, and the way he opened the batting, and that obviously smashed us everywhere in Wellington. And just sort of, I just remember thinking that quite inspiring. Obviously, he's great mates with Morgs, and sort of how it transpired for us in one-day cricket from that. But yeah, he was someone he was box office, wasn't he?
Amazing.
So he was someone as a opposition player, or if you're the captaining against someone like that, very dangerous. But knew would give you a chance, but dangerous player.
Did he get 100 in the first ever IPL game?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, 158 or something ridiculous in the first ever IPL match. Yeah, which you can imagine how much that changes your world. Something like that coming along and etched in history. There, it was. That's outrageous, isn't it? In the first ever IPL game, something like that to happen.
I do class it as very lucky. I know this was play against him, but I do think English cricket's very lucky to have his mindset and aura come into it, actually, because Harry Brook, Jamie Smith, all these young guys are learning how he operated and how he did it, how he thought. And Baz won't be coach here for 10 years, but they will carry that through for the rest of their career. I think we are lucky to have him.
Yeah, I always love when the camera pans to him, like whatever the stage of the match is, a test match or one day or whatever, his sunglasses on, lying back, feet up, and it just that aura or that sort of personality that he pushes out from himself to everyone else. Just it's like, as you living the dream. What's he always say? What a gig! Like just living the dream, and it keeps everywhere very level and very relaxed and really focused. And that, like you said, I think. It's rubbed off Stokes, McCullum, and now into the white ball stuff, Harry Brook and that kind of thing. So yeah, there's a lot of love for Baz here in this Q&A episode.
Mr. Daj, Jose wants to know, what's your morning routine?
Wow, my morning routine is started by my eldest, Georgia.
I was going to say, this is going to be different from being at home to hotels.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to give you the home version at the moment. So we've got a very early riser. Our eldest, Gigi, loves sort of something starting with a 5. So she usually comes in and taps one of us on the head and is like, it's not morning time, get back to bed. But in the sun.
Have you got one of those glow clocks?
Oh, yeah, they don't work.
We've got, haven't we?
Grow clock, we've got Sam the sheep, he does this, we've tried them all. So if anyone else has got blackout blinds, a lot, 5 o'clock she comes in, we try and send her back to go and read some books for a bit, and then it's sort of around 6:15 Charlie the baby starts making a few wines. So in there, one of those posh baby milk machines that's like little morning coffee for him. So we get him up, get some milk into him, then we're downstairs for an array of cereals. They like to get them all out on the table, and sort of, they don't just want Cheerios in the bowl, they want Cheerios and the Special K, and so there's some one special ones, I don't know what they're called, like numbers and letters that go in there as well. So there's a real mixture of cereals going on, and so I'm just sort of battling my way through the morning until I can get them in the car and out the way onto school and nursery. That's kind of the morning routine. But otherwise in the IPL, this kind of isn't a morning routine. It starts at 4 a.m. when you go to sleep.
Yeah, I was finding
this
interesting. People wouldn't know that
in the afternoon. Yeah, so because the games are always so late, 7:30 start. Training's always late as well. We train for a long time. Not getting back to the hotel by sort of midnight, 12:30, something like that. And you're always a bit still got quite a lot of adrenaline or whatever, or stuff from training. So sometimes even do gym at that kind of time when you come back from training, like 1 a.m, and then have a feed and generally go to sleep about 4 a.m. and then you're actually waking up around midday just after.
Crucial do not disturb for the cleaners.
If you forget to put that on, that can be quite painful. And sometimes even take the phone off the hook as well, because it might just get that call through. But yeah, there's sort of that, your times just completely flip in the IPL, that you're not nocturnal, but some of the West Indies boys absolutely are. They, Shafane Rutherford was telling me he goes to bed at about 7:30 and then wakes up at 5 o'clock to get on the bus to go to the ground. And it's like, so he's almost not seeing daylight. But so that routine. But yeah, I'd be up, eat something, into the gym for a stretch, maybe have a swim, and then into the day. So yeah, they look quite different on tour or at home with the kids. You? Coffee's got to take place in there somewhere. It's pretty big in the morning routine.
I think I'm similar with 2 kids, similar to you, 2.5-year-old and a 6-month-old. The first 2 hours of my day, nothing for me. Nothing. I'm scrambling around, getting them in the car, charging about. But test match days, you get the comms rota the night before and the running order. So that tells you how the sort of build up 1 or 2 is going to go and what footage we're looking to use. So you start engaging with that the night before a little bit. Then morning of a game, I like to get to the ground at sort of 8:30, 9, gives you the chance to go onto the TV screens and figure out exactly what footage is coming away, or build some footage of what lengths of bowls are bowling, chatting to the sort of engineers in the trucks or back at Sky in Isleworth. And then you go on air at 10 day 1, 10:15 for the rest of the test match. And before that, you're pre-recording interviews with players. So you're sort of hanging around for when the players arrive, or, you're completely on their time with that sort of thing. And just structuring your sort of mind for the day, really. But a lot more relaxed than when I was playing.
Yeah, absolutely. What's next?
So a little sip of our wine, shall we? We've got a southeastern Australian Shiraz, very famous grape from that neck of the woods. You must have some lovely memories of Adelaide. Yeah,
good memories. 2022 is the one that stands out. We chased down 180 odd, I think, none down. Me and Alex Hales put together a great partnership, that semi-final against India in the T20 World Cup that we went on to win the final at Melbourne against Pakistan. So yeah, Adelaide, amazing ground, isn't it? It's one of the best sort of redevelopments, and that sort of walk across the river into Adelaide is awesome, isn't it? I don't know how you describe that.
I love that, because you come sort of underneath the stand to then walk up, morning of the game, walk up onto the pitch. And as you walk up that tunnel and you look at the stadium, you've got that old scoreboard with loads of history where everyone says Bradman could hit it off the back foot into it, which is like 160 metres. It can't have happened. But wonderful. There's so much history at that ground, but also they've modernised it in such a stylish way. So yeah, spectacular place to play.
And I'm right in saying, Broady, this is one of the wines that goes in our For the Love of Cricket wine case with Laithwaites.
You're right, yeah. You can buy it from laithwaites.co.uk. Actually, we'll put the link in this episode description, also the link in our Instagram bio. This is the second bottle. We had a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc in the last one. We'll be able to get 6 in the case, and we'll be showcasing which other wines will come over the next few months. I seem to remember you making a joke, well, I hope it was a joke, that our For the Love of Cricket case of wine would be 10% off, and you just sort of brandished it out there. I've got some news for you.
Don't tell me it's more than 10%.
25% off.
25%.
That's giving a good gig, isn't it?
I think it's too much, but get in there early while it's still 25%. So what's that work out for a bottle of wine? What's that about?
It's about $9.99 a bottle, which is wonderful value.
Pretty good value, isn't it? So pour yourself a few more glasses. Question from Nikki. What's it like when a batter comes back to the dressing room having scored no runs? How do you help them out? What's your reaction? From your point of view, not theirs.
The duck, yeah. I remember as a kid watching that duck walk off the batter, don't you, on the TV? It's a bit of a scramble, isn't it, first thing, because you obviously lost 2 in 2 pretty quickly if a new batter's gone for a duck. So there's batters running around, scrambling for pads, some, getting their whites on, figuring out exactly, getting their mindset right of when they might be batting, trying to focus in on it. So I've certainly been in that position where there's pads flying around everywhere. Then generally you have to give the batter who's just got out a little bit of space.
I was going to say, when do you time that hard luck, mate?
I make no eye contact, because I always used to find painful when you lose a wicket, but reactions of batters quite funny at times, you know, especially if they start getting angry at themselves, so throwing the bats or the helmets start flying or started like abusing coffee machines and stuff. So I had to, if I was getting ready, I had to make sure I was looking at the floor a lot of the time, and it was worse if you just looked up and caught a little bit of the blow up. But not everyone would blow up, obviously, but I think you need to give the batter space. The last thing you want to do, remember, like Johnny Bairstow at Lords would be sat next to the coffee machine. So if he's got naught, don't go make yourself a coffee yet. Like, give that 15, 20 minutes. Give him space.
Yeah.
So sort of appreciate how everyone else deals with it. Someone like Zach Crawley, honestly, he is in his training kit in 30 seconds after he's got out. He comes in, pads off, whites off, training kit, glasses on the balcony. I was thinking, how's he done that? So quick.
He was batting a minute ago.
He was batting a minute ago. So everyone deals with it slightly differently. You get some batters who come in straight to the laptop, studying everything to see, that was a good ball, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was a good ball.
You got the guys who are never out, aren't they? There's like,
how's he caught that? How's he caught that?
Fault.
Oh, how unlucky am I? The fielder there, you know, all that sort of stuff. And you have to, at that point, there is no point going, well, because there's a fielder there, mate. You know, you can't dive into any of that. You just have to be really empathetic and go, it's unlucky, mate. Don't worry about it. You'll be all right. All that sort of thing. But I think it's very different when you get naught. Because you're a bit embarrassed, aren't you? First of all, you're a bit like, I always, I never used to like looking at the big screen on my walk off because I'd know I'm out. Like, don't want to see it again. And the same, you get back into the change room. There's normally 2 TVs, one either side of the change room. So your dismissal's being replayed like 5 times, and you're just staring at it the whole time. Like, God, I really am that bad at batting. First up, so there's, I try and then take my pads off and not look at the telly and just take myself away for a few minutes. But I never really got that angry.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I actually think there's a time I got out. I can't remember exactly who it was against, but someone had made me a cup of tea. As I was 2 wickets away from going in, so this cup of tea, bang, flurry of wickets, or 1 wicket, I'm in, out first or second ball, and come back in, and I'm padding, and I'm like, that tea's still warm. I can get back into my cup of tea, and then just, you got to find some way of humour. I think when you're out for a duck, or you're gutted, aren't you? You're disappointed. You've practiced all week, and you go out and score no runs, and exactly that you spoke about, like people padding up, and they're sort of on eggshells around you, and like, is he going to throw something? Is he going to randomly swear or shout at someone or throw something at the TV? But you're also conscious of that when you're the batter. Like, I think people used to do it more, I think, that sort of blow up or whatever. And then out of sort of respect for, someone else is actually getting ready and they've got to go and bat and do well and prepare. Actually, if you're going to do that, maybe take yourself off to some of the grounds, have a gym close by, don't they? People go into the gym and burn off a bit of energy there or something like that. So you are a bit conscious of the others when you are wallowing in your self-pity.
Have you ever seen that clip of Warner in Sri Lanka, I think it is? You know the water bottles you get that have the plastic sort of thing covering that you can't get off, and you've never been able to get them off. No one can get them off, even if you've not even just got out in 50 degrees. And he's there, just got out, trying to take this plastic cover off the lid to open a bottle of water, and he can't do it, and he ends up just like lobbing the water. Like, I love that sort of thing. We actually had Ashes in Brisbane, I think it was 2011. Strauss was in the corner, Andrew Strauss, Matt Pryor sat next to him, I was sat next to Matt Pryor. Morning, I think it must have been day 1 or whatever. Obviously excited about the series, get into it, all that sort of thing. And Strauss got a second ball duck, Pryor first ball, me first ball. So our corner of the change room, 3 of us, no runs, 4 balls. At the end of the day, we just sort of sat quietly looking at the floor. And I think Strauss, sort of looked at all of us and went, could have gone better, that one.
Let's move on. We now have a question from Jamie. Did you get A-levels, or had you given up on school by then to focus on cricket? I feel like you.
No, I did get A-levels. Yeah, I certainly. It was actually after leaving school. I started playing. I played a couple of games of second team cricket for Leicestershire. Went to Australia as a gap year, and then my cricket started to move on. I had a bit of a growth spurt, and that's when I played first class cricket the following summer. But I did get A-levels. It feels a long time ago now. I actually can't really remember
what you studied.
No. Remember what I studied, which is awful to say.
Didn't do university at all, did you?
Do you know, I was going to go to Durham. I was all sort of signed up, and not signed up, but that was my target. And then Leicestershire offered me a professional contract at the end of that summer. almost like an academy contract, but to join the staff, get a shirt number and all that sort of thing. So I was dead set on that. I was so excited to do that. But I would have gone to uni if Leicestershire hadn't have offered me something at the end of that summer. But yeah, what did I study? Gosh, there's definitely some sort of business studies in there.
It'd be business studies and PE, isn't it?
Probably PE in there.
That's what I did.
Certainly wasn't your English or histories or maths. I feel like I got 3 Bs.
Take it.
But it felt a big thing at the time, but now I'm 39, it didn't.
Yeah, I think your cricket career probably covered that off, didn't it? So I actually got 2 A-levels. I just did business and PE. And I remember I only did 3 at the sort of 6-1 or AS level, and then dropped biology.
Bit of free time going on there, isn't it?
Yes, and that I sort of was very tactile in how I put together my... I sort of said, I've got cricket sessions here or here, and I managed to get all my lessons only ever in the mornings. So I had every afternoon off
this is a dream. How have you managed
in
this?
6-2 at school, which was a great effort. So I was down the county ground, or I'd be just chilling in my room watching a few films in the afternoon. Had nothing to do in the afternoon. So I felt like I did uni in 6-2, to be honest.
Surely all your mates hated you. You're like, I'm just off to the nets. What have you got? I've got maths.
Yeah.
Double maths. Great.
Double maths. That was me. I've got nothing, lads.
Anyone play football?
Yeah, exactly. Anyone got PlayStation? I need someone to play against. So I was quite proud of that. And then the way I managed to sort of maneuver myself out of... Because I got my timetable. I was like, if I change this and get always afternoons off. And so I swapped a few classes, got into a different set for business studies, I think, and we had school on Saturdays at King's College in Taunton, where I was, so I managed to make sure I had no lessons on a Saturday as well, so I just had sport in the afternoons. So I had the dream of all timetables.
Might be the greatest manipulation I've ever heard.
Yeah, and no university, didn't even bother with the UCAS form. I just thought I can do that after. If cricket doesn't work out, I'll try and I'll do that after. So I just went a bit like you, got offered a summer contract with Somerset, and went straight from school into living on the flats at the ground and living the dream for playing for Somerset. So
I actually remember I got offered the contract and got I think it was a PCA at the time, or there was certainly, if you ever get off a contract, don't sign it there and then, because you've not read it, you don't know what's in it. So I got it, tried to play it cool, got in my car, I was driving back to my mum's near Melton Mowbray. And I had to pull in to like a lay-by and call my mum. I was like, they've offered me a contract. I've not fully read it yet, but I want to sign it. And I remember her quite clearly saying, you've got to do what you feel right. I actually think you should go down this route and treat it as an apprenticeship. And if it doesn't work out in a couple of years, you can then go to uni and do your thing after. But if you go to uni, you might fall behind. If you're 22, 23 coming out, think of the learning you've done in cricket in the next 5 years. I remember clear as day, she sort of said that when I was stood in a labour on the phone, and got home. She had a quick read through, sign away. And it was like amazing feeling. Yeah. Like that Leicestershire headed paper. I was like, wow. Yeah, it was wicked.
Right, come on, let's rattle through a few more of these. Question from James. What's the best innings that you've ever witnessed from the other end?
A few, actually. I'd say the one that's in my mind the most... Ben Stokes, Lords, 2023, Australia. It was all that. I replaced Johnny with the mad run out. I came out and Stokesy just went into not slog mode. It was just like art, .6, .6. He got 150, 60, 70, whatever he got. I was at the other end. And the way he marshalled me, it was he'd face 4 and always leave me, either 1 or 2. And he did it with such ease, and when he was hitting the ball like to old Father Time, it was going miles back. He was properly flying, and you got Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, all 85, 90 miles an hour, and he was just drilling them. So that's the one I enjoyed the most, because he was so calm. He was like, if I run 1, you run 1. If I run 2, you run 2. If I don't move, you don't move. Don't speak to me. You keep doing your thing. Keep annoying the Aussies. All this sort of stuff. Wow. And he was just in that mode. So that was probably the most enjoyable, and it was probably the most recent for me. So that was great fun. You must have had a few at the other end.
I'm trying to think.
Or you're doing the damage, maybe.
Well, I'm trying to think of a few. Owen Morgan's played a couple of great innings I can think of when I've been at the other end. Not always at the other end for the whole entirety of the inning. I remember we lost the game, but an incredible 100 at Sydney, actually. He was sort of a only man standing kind of innings. I batted with him for a little bit in that one. Fantastic knock. Trying to think about some of my favourite innings I've ever witnessed. I wasn't at the other end, but Jason Roy at Melbourne, 180 I think he got. And again, that sort of bowling attack that much talked about, Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood. Jace had this amazing ability against high pace and he elevated his game, and the more they took him on with aggression or pace, the more he would take it on as well. And Melbourne's big ground, and we were chasing a decent score, but he was smacking it to all parts and brilliant on the short ball. And I think any time you see fast bowlers bowling short against someone who's really strong on that delivery, it's just amazing watching. And that would be one of my favourite innings that I've ever witnessed.
Question from Emma: the 63 shirt that you wear, is that something you had as a kid at Somerset, or is there a specific reason you chose that?
No, it's not actually. It's the first number I was ever given for England. So, when you play for England Lions or England A team as it is, everyone's given a number and it's just random. And I was given the number 63. And at that stage, I thought, maybe it's quite cool to get a different number for each different team I play for. So I was number 15 at Somerset, got the number 63 with England, and then it goes into the, when you do play for the main team, you take that number with you, and naturally all the sort of best numbers from, sort of the football, I always think of numbers and stuff, but the iconic number 8s, you had number 8, so no one can take that shirt. Number 9 is Jimmy Anderson, number 7 was Ian Bell, I think, so all the sort of real big numbers are gone, and I just thought maybe it's quite nice to keep this number, and I really like, and 63's been something that I've just never wanted to change. I've played with a few guys who've changed their England number when their sort of favourite numbers become available, but I've just sort of stuck with it. And I did go through a phase of wanting different shirts, numbers for different teams. I remember wearing 39 for Melbourne Renegades for no reason than Nicholas Anelka wore 39, and no one really knew why.
That was my first England number, 39. That was the one that was given to me, yeah.
There you go. So, but then now 63's sort of become my number, and each team or franchise that I go and play for, I want to play that. But no, it wasn't chosen, it was given to me, and I thought, if that's the number I've been given, I liked it and I just stuck with it.
So how the England shirt numbers work, you have to have not played for 3 years for your shirt number to become available, unless you retire from the format, and then that shirt number becomes available. And then every year, I think at the start of the cricket season, players get an email of available shirt numbers of what you can select, and you have to, they might email you back saying, you both want number 2, have a chat to. Number 1's always been the one that is quite a difficult one to choose, I think, isn't it? I think that is captain and captain only, in my opinion.
Is there a number 1? Who is?
I don't think there is. I remember Nick Knight was number 1, wasn't he?
Has anyone taken number 8?
Not that I know of, but
who did you take the number 8 shirt from?
I took it off Goffey just because he's a legend.
You've told me that before.
Right, let's do that question from Josh.
Yeah, does Broady love watching Australia lose at all sports? Are you cheering on the Lions down under? Would you boo an Aussie tennis player at Wimbledon?
No. Do I like watching Australia lose? I quite enjoyed the World Test Championship final, only because I was part of the South African setup for a bit of time. But no, ultimately, I think when you play against Australia that much, you have a huge respect for their competitiveness, their drive, their love of sports, how passionate the fans are at their sport. So I think actually my love-hate relationship with Australia is out of respect a little bit as well. I love that. Don't get me wrong, if it was a English versus Aussie at the Wimbledon final, I'd want the English to win. I'd probably prefer Norris to win over Piastri for McLaren in the F1, but I think that's born out of my history growing up watching Ashes cricket, England versus Australia, that rivalry. So Ashes, will I be cheering on the Lions down under? Absolutely. But no, I certainly, I don't have any, what's the right word, like vengeance or anything towards Australia.
But you're still English, and you want, I take
I want
pride
England
in Australia losing. But like you say, mostly because they're generally quite good, and you want good teams to lose when they're your big rivals.
And I have massive respect for them as well. Like when they won in Ahmedabad the 23 World Cup final, that just looked all India, didn't it? It's like, this is made for India to win it, home patch. And they went on and did the most Australian thing ever, like won the toss and bowled when everyone was saying they should bat, chased Travis Head 100. That's just that's what Aussies do. They just find a way to be in the contest all the time, and I really respect that.
Another question from Ed. Would Broady rather go camping with Nasser Hussain or Michael Atherton?
Neither.
That's it, let's move on.
I probably need to explain that, because both legends, like both great guys.
But not great camping legends, are they?
Nas hates socialising, so there's no way that you want to be stuck in a tent with him for the evening. You know, he's not someone who wants a small talk. And Ath, I don't know how many people know this actually, he's got no sense of smell, which means when he... How can I say
that could be a plus for this camping trip.
No, but when he tries, he's not offended, but everyone else is.
I didn't think you'd get that in
the comms box, he just fires away, and everyone's on the floor choking, and he just carries on. So I think that's quite difficult to cope with. And I imagine in a tent, that would be difficult.
So you're taking Nasser camping just because of Atherton's dodgy guts?
Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, can't argue with that. Brilliant. You've done him there a treat.
Oh gosh, I don't know if that's common knowledge though, is it? Have you ever?
Probably not. I don't know. I don't think he comes on at 10:15 and goes, "Good morning, everyone. I can't smell the smell of this commentary box, so hard luck for whoever's on colour." But I think you've just outed him terribly there. But yeah, there you go. You learn something new every day.
Ellie's asked, what's Jos's top 5 cricket grounds in the world? I reckon we should try and do a joint top 5, so we have to sort of haggle our way in for best grounds.
Okay.
Trent Bridge.
Not in mine.
What? Trent Bridge?
Not in mine, no.
Gotta be.
Of all the grounds in the world, Trent Bridge.
Yeah.
Let's start with some guaranteed. Lords? Oh wow, this could be a long question.
Yeah, Lords has to be in home of cricket as a player, just the most sort of magical experience. I think the pitch is a bit too slow for really exciting cricket current times.
Still Lords, isn't it? It's got to be in there. I've put Cape Town.
100%. Yeah, best view in world cricket.
Got to be, hasn't it?
Great city. English supports as outrageous.
Amazing, isn't it?
I want to say SCG. Is that?
I've got Sydney. Yeah, I've put Sydney down, and for me as well, I like that ground just because of one particular game that we won there in 2018. It's probably the best I've felt like I've ever batted actually in that match, and that was to win the series. So that was one reason for a personal level to put that one in. Now I've got a bit of a outsider here, is Dharamshala in India.
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever been.
Never played there. Incredibly picturesque, beautiful ground at the bottom of the Himalayas, and just because I think it's just one of the prettiest and unique cricket grounds I've ever played at. It's like you fly in there in the snow-capped mountains, and it's like this windy kind of, it's sort of almost in, I think you are almost in Nepal or Tibet or one of the, and it's stunning ground, pretty cool experience. So
I'll agree with my mum. Flew out to watch Jimmy's 700th Test wicket actually, and she found the place astonishingly beautiful.
Really? Was that there? Yeah,
I'll put that in the top. So we're four.
You're desperate to try and get Trent Bridge.
Well, I would like. I'm sure
8 for 15 must be a big part of that as well, maybe. Or just because
it's just my home. I was there from like 4 years old watching Dad play. But I know this is a joint list. There's some pretty. Bridgetown, Barbados has got quite a bit of history and character to it, and updated for the 2007 World Cup. Any other country? I mean, the Wankhede you've played a lot at.
Yeah, I'd actually have that down for me. Was one of my favourite. And again, for me, I'm going like favourite grounds because of favourite memories. We chased 230, I think, in that South Africa game.
I was at Cheltenham actually.
You win? Any winners? No.
I was at Cheltenham and we ended up watching the cricket.
It was a hell of a game. It was I remember we were chasing 230 or whatever. Trevor Bayliss, lads, just remember you don't need to go at 12 and over from the outset. You know, we can win it in the last 5 overs. Jason Roy, Alex Hales, 50 for none off 2 overs. It's like Dale Steyn going to all parts. It was amazing. So that would be just one reason. I just love that ground for that reason as well. But there's some great ones in the world. For any that we've missed, I'm sure there's probably some favourites.
People let us know, won't they? Yeah. So we're going to go Lords, Cape Town, SCG, Sydney, Wankhede and Dharamshala.
Oh, you want? Well, I'll give you Trent Bridge. So we just got one in India. But I'd have Dharamshala just because it's unique.
Okay.
So you can have
Wankhede / Trent Bridge.
So you said Dharamshala is one of your mum's favourite grounds, but you retired by then, and she'd gone out on tour Just on her own for the love of cricket.
For the love of cricket, yeah. Should we get her on? Interview. Why are you still touring, watching England? You know, I've retired. No, she loves it. Yeah, she went out to, I think, two or three tests in India on that tour. And I was getting loads of pictures of Jimmy running into bowl. It's like, I'm watching on the telly, man.
Bowled with him for years too.
She was buzzing to see his 700th. Sat next to his dad, actually. So like they've got this. You know, the parents are all close, aren't they? They sort of go through the same emotions and go out for dinners during Test matches. And I think particularly my mum's like the Rooties, the Andersons, the Cookies. Parents she spent a lot of time with. So she's still charging.
Ashes down under?
She's going to the Ashes, yeah. She's not doing the first two, and then she's doing the Christmas, New Year, I think maybe Adelaide as well.
Oh, cool.
So just loves it.
Tourist.
So
that's it, the end of another Q&A episode in partnership with Laithwaites.
Yeah, if you have a question, hit the link in our episode description.
The For the Love of Cricket case of wine is available to buy at laithwaites.co.uk. So pour yourself a glass.
Or another glass, and settle in and join us for the love of cricket and a good bottle of wine with Laithwaites.